Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Choosing Beggars. Story 1. Is my cousin a CB? We'll try to keep this short. My cousin, 30/M, bought a Starbucks flat white, tried it and said it was burned. I tried it and it agreed. He drank it anyway. Later he went to complain and demanded a new flat white. I told him that since he drank it anyway he can't really complain or ask for compensation. Perhaps if he had gone back after the first sip they could have made a new one. But he drank the whole thing and still complained. For good measure, he also felt they should throw in a discount for the next order. I've worked in cafes and restaurants before, and it's beyond annoying when customers consume the entire product and then demand compensation for an alleged issue with the item. Story 2. What about my discount? Story 3. Buy nothing FB groups. Oh my god, those people drive me insane. Don't check locations and complain it's too far. Mind, it's supposed to be by Burgood, reserve things only to cancel the day of or not show up. Not responding to messages when you trying to see if they still want it. I gave up and just left bunch do stuff I was trying to give away outside my house with a free sign on it another day. I have had a lot better experience if someone is looking for a specific item and you happen to have it. People actually make the trip 99% of the time. Story 4. Perhaps the opposite of a choosing beggar, but just happened on the WhatsApp group. A WhatsApp group for our local sports team, Go Jets. CB, lads, getting rid of a TV. Going in the bin unless anyone wants to take off my hands for 50. Long pause. Group member, give us a shout when it's going in the bin and I'll grab it off you then. Story 5. No is a complete sentence. This guy used to be a friend but now he only calls me when he wants something. Also he claims he needs to buy diapers but I know for a fact he has no kids. Story 6. Guy who bought my parents' old record player. This guy came to my parents' house, tested out the record player, inspected all parts of it, said it was fine, then bought it. He then came back to my mom complaining that he'd missed the condition of the stylus while inspecting it. When my mom reminded him that it was over 30 years old and the listing was clear that it was being sold as is, he tried to guilt trip her into a refund with the good ole Jesus tactic. Story 7. Woman tries to get a free MacBook from me then asks if I have a husband and is he handsome. My native language is not English, so sorry for any mistakes in advance. The situation is still very fresh and I'm giggling while typing it. This happened a couple of hours ago. I decided to put my almost unused MacBook Air for sale. Literally 1 minute after posting the listing, I get a call. It was 11:15 p.m. and most people usually sleep at this time. I pick up the phone, and maintain a very calm tone during the whole call. Me, hello? Woman, so tell me. Me, confused, who is calling? Woman, it's me, unknown name and surname, I'm calling because I saw a computer for sale. Me, oh, I just didn't expect someone to call so soon because I listed it just now. Woman, my granddaughter told me I need to buy a computer with an Apple. Me, yes, it is an Apple computer, just like you're looking for. Woman, where do you live? I tell her the city and the district, just as she asked. She tells me her town that is on the other end of the country. She does not know my city at all, so I suggest she travels here by train and I will meet her at the train station, so that it would be simpler to her. She says that is perfect, then asks if I won't scam her. I tell her that I just want to sell my laptop, why would I scam you? Then she asks for the price. Woman, so is this a final price, 900? Me, well I listed it for 800, and do you have an offer? Instead of an offer I get a story from her, that she wants to buy this laptop for her granddaughter. Then a short pause. Woman, maybe you would donate the laptop? Me, no, because the price of the product is too high that I could give it for free. Woman, do you have a husband? Me, yes. Woman, let me talk to him. Me, My husband is not related to the sale of this laptop. Woman, give the phone to your husband, I will talk to him. He will give me the laptop for 200. Me, ma'am, this computer belongs to me, not my husband, and because of that I make decisions regarding the sale of it, not him. Woman, is he handsome? Me, this is not related to the sale. Woman, what? Me, this is not related to the sale. Woman, almost crying, starts to beg me to let her talk to my husband, that she just wants to give a gift to her granddaughter, etc. Me, ma'am, have a good evening. I hung up the phone and instantly blocked her number. I was a little bit scared, because the longer I listened to her, the more I understood that she is mentally unstable and I was afraid that she will write something bad about the thing I'm selling just to retaliate that I hung up on her. I told my husband what happened and he told me that we should stay at least a 300 kilometers radius away from people like her, and we laughed because that is how far the town she lives in is from us. I then texted my friend who was not sleeping, and she asked what was the deal with her asking for you husband, and I answered that maybe she was hoping to seduce him with her pensioner spells and make his heart fall for her, then she could have the laptop for dirt cheap. But she failed this time, so she should try putting her wild panther spells on other men who sell laptops. We had a good laugh about it too. It just made it easier to think about my temporary customer service job, because no matter how rude the clients are, none of them are this crazy, and that's good. Story 8. Plant seller wants to buy cheap plants for even cheaper. I am a plant seller. This listing is for 5 plant cuttings. Selling plants this cheap is already not really worth my time, but sometimes I just want to get rid of some listings. This person is also a plant seller with over 1,000 sales. The lowest shipping on this app is $4.30, and after fees I would make about $1 if I worked within their price demand, not counting time, effort, materials, or anything else. I just think it's interesting as an online seller to see other sellers expect things for essentially free and to act so entitled to making demands when they definitely know with all their experience selling on the app that I would be making nothing from it. Story 9. CB pissed that, buddies, won't help pay for a funeral for spiders. Story 10. Borrow money but don't tell wife. Here is a funny bit. I have a pub friend who I used to frequent before pandemic. We met in the pub, got along well and have been in touch. Now, I was blessed to keep a job during pandemic, a lot of my friends were not. Including him, so I gave him some money. Never expected him to pay me back because I knew pandemic was hard on some people, including my wife. Cut to 2023, he has his job back but I stopped going to the pub, but we meet on High Street often. So we often meet occasionally and he has met my wife. They both bonded on being made redundant at the same time. She considers him a good friend, and because both of them were job hunting together, are on phone encouraging each other. He is short of money again, he has a job but it seems he borrowed from multiple places during pandemic and is in debt. Again, no problem in lending him money, but here is the fun part. Can you not tell your wife about this? I am taken aback, like she knows I lend him money but I know she has never asked him about it. I am uncomfortable keeping secret from my wife, I say, especially as we have a joint account and we discuss all finance related stuff. I will feel inferior in front of her, if she knows. He says. Yeah right, cause me a martial strife but he has to feel superior in front of her. Well, guess what, I did not give him the money. P.S. adding the missing part of how he connects to my wife. Basically they both were made redundant at the same time during pandemic and were job hunting and motivating one another. She considers him a good friend too. Story 11. It's cheaper at the closed store across the street. For context, I'm a shift supervisor for a retail drug store chain. Our store is open 24 hours. Across the street from us is a big box store, BBS. This happened at 10 p.m. at night. ODC equals over-the-counter pain medication. CB, where's the ODC? Me, Right here. Hand over OTC on shelf. CB, $15. That's expensive. It's $10 at BBS. Me, then go to BBS. CB, they're closed. Me, then go in the morning. CB, they open at 8, I have to leave for a flight at 6. Me, I don't know what to tell you. CB, why can't you sell it for $10? Me, we're open. They're closed. This is our price. That's their price. CB, I'm not paying $15 for something I can get for $10. If I'm in pain tomorrow I'm coming after you. I just walked away. Story 12. I once helped an 85-year-old neighbor sell their home and the buyer wanted a little cash back. I was showing a woman around a neighbor's house when it was up for sale and she wanted to buy it. The only thing is she wanted to knock out every wall downstairs and that would cost $40,000, so wanted $40,000 back from the sale price so they could do it. She wanted to get a mortgage for the full price $160K in 2011, which was low as the neighbor was moving due to bad health, and then wanted the seller to give them back $40K back to do the work they wanted. She was too happy not when she got a no way back. Story 13. Homeless man demands $10 to $20 when offering him $250. I was driving in Toronto yesterday and passed through a transitioning neighborhood when a homeless fellow at a stoplight was approaching people for money at a stoplight. I rarely have cash on me but has a little change, so decided to give it to the man. When I was handing him the money he said $10 and $20 only. My response: I have $2.50. If you don't want it, your soul, dude. He took it, of course. Honestly, the nerve. Story 14. You're not fair. So, we're giving away some furniture during our move, either because we no longer need them or we bought better ones. I've listed a bunch on FB Marketplace. While I've gotten some pretty frustrating messages, this convo really topped all of them. Guy on FB, is this still available? Me, which furniture do you mean? Some of them have already been reserved and I marked them in the post. Guy, the filing cabinet. Me, oh, that's still available. Guy, I don't have a car or a license, how am I going to pick them up? Me, well, the stuff is free on the condition you pick it up yourself, so if you can't, I guess it's not possible. Guy, but I don't have a car or a license, I can't pick them up. Guy, can't you deliver it to location 1HR away? That would be really fair. Me, then someone else will get it. It doesn't fit in our car. Guy, you're not fair. Me, shrug emoji that I can't post here. Some people, I swear. Story 15. Zero class in a bad situation. I just happens to come across this sub not too long ago and it reminded me of an experience I had years ago. It stuck in my mind for so many years, not so much because of what the request was, but more so for the circumstances around it. I was living in Newfoundland, Canada, and I had just graduated high school in 2001. The following fall I went to university and was spending some time in a student lounge with a few classmates. One of the guys started yelling at the TV in the corner, and calling out to anybody around to come close. It was the first plane crash for 9/11. Over the next few days, St. John's and Gander, Newfoundland became a haven for passengers who were stranded when their flights were grounded. Some of you might have heard of the Broadway show, Come From Away. My old high school was turned into an emergency shelter for multiple flights. The classrooms, theater, gym, and cafeteria were all set up to receive hundreds of people. If you've ever met a Newfoundlander, we are generally considered pretty generous and welcoming people. When the call out for volunteers happened, my high school had almost as many volunteers as there were stranded passengers. I was one of those willing to help. Despite the horrible reason for the gathering, I had a lot of fun. Got to play some chess with these Eastern Orthodox gem traders, chatted about French cuisine with a Parisian chef, watched the news in the theater with people from all over the world. Almost everyone was very appreciative, we all bent over backwards to make sure everyone had everything they needed. It was a tough situation, but we were trying to make the best of it. Almost. This one American couple from Alabama started making trouble for whichever volunteer they could corner. The cots and blankets we had provided weren't good enough for them. They demanded their own room, and when we couldn't accommodate they insisted we pay for a hotel room for them. The free food we had offered wasn't good enough, and they would grab a box, open it and immediately throw it in the trash. I was there for quite a few hours, and after lunch I decided to pop outside for a bad habit. I've been a smoker for a while, early days back then. I'm trying to quit now. Mrs. Alabama catches my eye outside the school and struts up to me demanding a cigarette. I'm pretty easygoing about it and I offer her two, one for later. She lights one up, drops them both on the ground, and steps on them. I'm a little shocked, but even more so when she looks at me and says, "Listen here buddy, you aren't leaving here today unless you find me a pack of menthols." I laughed at her and told her that there was a corner store down the street. Nerve of some people. Can't tell if this is entitled, a choosing beggar, but likely both. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.